If you want to find out how to stop craving sweets and how I did it, then watch till the end. I've got a good news for you. If you've been addicted all your life to sugar or you've been craving sugar every single day, then you can fight it. And you can implement changes in your diet, in your lifestyle that are going to help you to stop feeling this craving. And today I'm going to share with you 2 ideas that helped me implementing changes in my diet and that helped me with the cravings that I had in the past. Okay, so let's start from the beginning and let's start from my morning habit. I used to drink black coffee with sugar every single morning for years. And there was time that I decided that I want to stop drinking coffee with sugar. And I was really happy with drinking black coffee. So one day I decided that I'm not going to put sugar in it anymore. And that worked, and it still works. However, after a few weeks, few months, I reintroduced sugar in different form. So because I had chocolate, biscuits, cookies in my cupboard, I would normally just start my day with a black coffee and a piece of chocolate and a piece of biscuit. And normally it wasn't just one piece of chocolate or one piece of cookie, it was normally a few. And I wasn't really happy with that and I wasn't really satisfied, but I really didn't know what to do after my morning coffee and after having that chocolate or that sweet with the coffee, I was always immediately hungry. So what I would do, I would start my day with a breakfast, and my breakfast was normally a sweet breakfast, which from what I remember was either porridge on a plant-based milk with some prunes and nuts, and on top of that I would sprinkle some sugar, or maybe a massive glass jar of smoothie, like half a liter of a smoothie. And what I would put in the smoothie was normally, again, plant-based milk or a banana, orange, apple, kiwi, literally something that I considered healthy. However, I know that I wouldn't normally eat a piece of fruit, banana, apple, and kiwi at the same time. But I really liked the idea of drinking and, drinking like a mixed version of all the fruits. Mm, what I noticed after that after 2 hours of drinking that smoothie, I was hungry, immediately hungry. And it wasn't just like a normal hunger that, you kind of have before lunch. It was kind of like the sensation of starving, of like having to eat something immediately because otherwise I'm going to collapse. So those were the feelings that I had. And I wasn't really pleased with that. I really didn't know where that comes from because I think at that time I used to follow this vegetarian and vegan diet, and I was thinking, okay, so I'm doing everything right. I'm eating lots of fruits, I'm eating lots of vegetables, and I'm eating pulses. And mm, I didn't really know what was wrong and why I was craving food so much and why I was always hungry, even though everybody say eat a lot of vegetables, eat a lot of fruits, and you'll be fine. But I don't think that was. I don't think that is the most healthy way of eating. So recently, I came across this book called Glucose Revolution, and there are 2 tips from that book I'm going to share with you today that helped me with my cravings and helped me with like having the energy level steady throughout the day. So here are the 2 tips. Number 1. Remember I told you that I used to eat a lot of sugar and smoothie and a lot of sweets in the morning? Now I don't. I have my black coffee in the morning, but what I eat right after is breakfast, but breakfast is a savory breakfast. So what I normally eat is either avocado on toast or maybe scrambled eggs, maybe boiled eggs, omelette, something that is savory and something that contains some vegetables, maybe a hummus with crudita. Definitely cucumber, definitely some cheese. Now I am not vegan anymore, so I'm eating cheese and I'm eating meat and fish as well. And I'm not hungry after my breakfast. I can go for like 4, 5 hours without eating, and I could just go to work and do the things I want to do without having this need of, oh, I need to really eat something because otherwise I'm going to faint. And after introducing salty and savory breakfast, I realized that I'm literally just not craving sweets after that. What the Glucose Revolution book says is after you eat something sweet, you create the glucose spike in your blood. So basically, the glucose go really, really high in your blood, and you have different, and it causes different things related to that. So I'm not eating smoothies anymore. I mean, I'll be happy to eat a smoothie, or I'll be happy to drink a smoothie, but maybe at different time of the day, or maybe a smoothie made out of different ingredients, which I still believe can be, you know, healthy option, especially after you exercise a lot and do a lot of sport, and you just feel like, oh, you don't want a solid breakfast, but you prefer to eat something that is more of a liquid. That's number one, savory breakfast. Number two is introducing more vegetables in your diet. Okay, so in my head, I always have had this idea that I'm going to start eating more vegetables one day. And I never knew when this day will come. And it was kind of like, oh, one day when, I don't know, I move here or I move there, and I will have access to a bigger amount of vegetables, I'm going to introduce more vegetables in my diet. And only recently, when I read in the book that how important is the how important are different ingredients, to introduce different ingredients at different time and eat them in order. So what I mean by that is how important it is to really eat vegetables first, then proteins and fats, and then only carbohydrates. So when I realized that it is important to eat those vegetables, that it is important to have them first in every single meal, I realized then that maybe it's a time to introduce more of those vegetables, because obviously I would always have something like radishes, cucumber, carrots in my fridge, and I would eat food made out of plenty of vegetables, cook maybe stews and you know, different salads. But I don't think the variety was that big, because there were only a few vegetables that I would have at home. So recently, what I did was when I go to a shop, and this is what I've been doing ever since, I buy pretty much every single vegetable that I see that is available, and I know that I'm going to make something out of that. So instead of just buying cucumber, potatoes, carrots, peppers, and you know, a few others, I'm literally buying everything that is there. So whether that is fennel or chicory or you know, different kinds of leaves, like everything. Recently, I even bought like a turmeric, like a whole fresh turmeric, because I was like, oh, that's interesting. I have this dry and it is in my cupboard, so I use it sometimes, but I've never had it sweet, fresh and raw. So I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to see what does it taste like and what I can use it with. And I highly introduce you to start implementing more vegetables and more variety into your diet, um, because it is exciting. It is kind of like super healthy to have different foods and you know, try different vegetables and see how you can kind of implement them in your diet and what you can do with them. And once they are in my fridge, I know that I'm going to use it, and I know that I'm going to definitely Google a recipe, um, you know, and introduce something different. So here are my two tips, guys. First tip is to start with a savory breakfast. And once you've eaten savory breakfast, you will not be craving sweets, because your glucose level will be steady. And the second one is the order of the foods that you eat. So start first with vegetables, either big bowl of salad or maybe some roasted vegetables, hummus, whatever. Just, you know, go to the supermarket and explore, and just, you know, be yourself, eat what you like, but also try to introduce new things and see how that goes. And after eating the vegetables, implement your proteins, implement your fats, and after that, start with your do your carbohydrates, whatever you like, whether it's rice, whether it's pasta, um, whatever you really want. So the big thing for me was also eating too much of a pasta, too much of a rice, and just eating that on its own. I never had a massive bowl of salad before my pasta. I would normally just have a pasta, and after pasta, I would have more pasta, because I was still kind of like hungry. And after pasta, I would normally have something sweet, because, you know, I wasn't fulfilled and I wasn't like full yet. But since I started implementing those changes, I feel like, oh wow, this is a change, and this makes me feel like super good. It makes me feel like energized. It gives me so much energy, and it makes me feel much better. It makes me, I don't know if it makes me sleep better, but definitely my everything in my stomach feels like good and settled. And mm, yeah, if you are struggling with sweets and if you don't know what to do, then just start with those two things and see how it goes. Um, I don't think you will regret it. I don't think you will only just want more and you will feel like energized by not having to have sweets, and you will feel just like, okay, I think I know the reason why I was craving sweets and I don't need them anymore. Anyway, I hope you guys liked it and I see you in the next episode. Bye.